Nope? Okay, this is great. Okay, here's how the suck threshold works. Um, there's this thought. So this is activities or features over here, and this is value. So as a product adds features, its value goes up, right? So the more a product does, the more it has, the more value it has because it's doing all the things. So there's this propensity that people have to expect that this line just goes on ad infinitum, goes on to infinity. But what they have found is that actually is not how it works. How it works is actually, so there's a point when you're building a product where this is called the suck, and it's terrible, I know. I didn't make it up. The suck threshold. So here and down, you suck because your product doesn't do enough. But what happens is there's a tipping point right around here. There's a tipping point, and now your value starts to diminish. It starts to go down until at some point you suck, not because you're not doing enough, but because you're trying to do too much. And so this is the tipping point. Apple is a good illustration. Apple is a good example of this. They have this, you knew I was going to talk about Apple, didn't you? Apple is the perfect illustration of this. Apple is relentless about saying no. Microsoft is relentless about saying yes, which is why you go into so many of their apps and you're like, I can't, it's just too much. The user experience, you guys are laughing at me because I talk about this all the time at home. So a product that tries to do too much, it starts to dilute the impact of what's there. And so there's this idea that right around here is the sort of the apex, and everything over here is what matters most. And everything over here is what you need to say no to. And it's really difficult when we look at this for our own lives because it's in our own lives too. There's a period of time where it's like, you know what, I am not adding enough value. I need to do more. But there's also a period of time where it's like, I am trying to do so much that I'm not doing enough in the areas that matter most. My critical contexts are suffering. And there's this saying that when you try to be all things to all people, you end up being nothing to anybody. And so there's this area where it's like we have to get disciplined about recognizing, what is called the sweet spot. And when are we beyond it? Essentialism goes into a lot of details on that.